All right, family. We live with the general. Y'all already know what time it is. We got that fire for you, family. We're gonna be talking about two United States planes shot down over Iran, and people always got a doomsday prophecy about this is war. And there's gonna be some planes get shot down, might be a boat or two get sunk, but people got this stigmatization, you know what I'm saying, that somehow United States can't be beat, and if a plane go down, that's a sign of defeat. A soldier, they've been over there knocking people's off for the last 5 6 weeks. One soldier come up missing. It's over. It's over for the U.S. They've been over there knocking off people for the last 5 6 weeks, knocking them off one by one. You see, and people, and so, but it does show that it ain't all what they say it is. It's still something that they have not hit. They have admitted to that. They have admitted to that. But we come here for this is military strategy school. This is what we come over here for. I didn't come over here so you could get your house shoes, and I didn't ask you for that. You know what I'm saying? I want you to look at this, and we're gonna talk about some things today. Because we need to. We need to. And so so the plane was shot down. I believe it was a F-15. It was shot down, and one pilot was recovered. Another pilot has not been recovered. You see, and so and if they get a hold to him, he going, they're gonna torture his ass. That's what they're gonna do. And so that's the thing of, especially you done knocked off all their leaders, you over there bombing. So they're gonna put it on him. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put it on whoever it is, they're gonna put it on him. So it's gonna be a lot of pain involved in that. He better be on the run. And they they trying to get him out of there, but they probably got all type of dogs and they hunting for him. You could believe that. And so he probably then fled somewhere where he can't easily be located, and where helicopters can get in there and get him up out of there. But that's war. You see, that's war, and we're gonna be talking about. That's why they asking for 1.5 trillion dollars for the upcoming military budget. So when they get ready to shoot one of them old ass planes like the F-15, that's old. You understand what I'm saying? That's old. It's still highly advanced plane. It's still a highly advanced plane, but they could take one or two, because they planned on building so many of them that they need to knock 2 or 3 of them out the sky, so they can have a reason to ask you for another $500 million to add to the new year military budget. But so a lot of people don't understand, what's going on. And yes, when you get into a war with somebody, I don't care what plan you got, you have to always revise a plan. That's war. That's just like Mike Tyson said. Everybody got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? When you get hit in the mouth, plan go out the damn. And not all the time, but it don't go, like it's, you always intend for it to go. So you have to always be, more acceptable. You understand what I'm saying? To revising, a plan, right there on the spot. You got to improvise. You got to improvise sometimes in life. You know, you be in a situation, you know, and you have to improvise. I done been in situations, shit, you had to come up with it while you're in it. Or your ass ain't gonna be in it. You see what I'm saying? So shit, you had to sometimes strike out, nigga, be gone, buy moves, hit the gate, do whatever you got to do. Yeah, hide under the car, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Climb on the roof. You know, whatever you got to do, you understand? You got to improvise. And so that's the thing we here to and talk about, and you know, and what and we're gonna be talking about this today, you know, to where, you know, we as Black people, just let's be upfront about this. We do not have our shit together. We don't have our shit together. We ain't even close to having our shit together. Okay, I'm just gonna say it just like that for you. You know, we don't even close. We ain't even close to having our shit together. Don't want to get it together. We have, even when the plans is out there. You know, you don't even want to pick up an old plan and improvise on it. You know, y'all don't even want to improvise on it. You don't want to take a plan from, you know, one of the elders, even though it must be updated. Y'all go back and get on a leader from 1920 and say, oh, he didn't have, man, that was in 1920. You understand what I'm saying? What foolish man would think he would pick up a plan from 1920 and not be, yes, it's going to be some foundational information there, but it's going to be a whole lot of outdated information. But see, that's a way of a Negro to, you know, say, oh, I ain't messing with it. Man, it's a whole lot of information in there that's viable, could get you to the next level. You just in denial that you love the master. You love the master. A lot of these Negroes love their master, so they'll come up with any kind of excuse to stay with his master. You know what I'm saying? And you see, you got to watch the smoke and mirrors, and they'll tell you it's this. They'll tell you it's that guy. You understand? They'll tell you all, but it's really in the heart, it's the love of their master. They want to be near him. They want to see him every day. You want to come out and wave hi to the master. Yeah. Want to get the master house shoes for him, get his newspaper, you feel me, you know, and make you feel good. That's what you got. You got the ptosis, you got the itis, and we just got to tell on you today. So, you know, but, you know, we, to our own demise, you know, wherever we at today, we got to get started right here as we move on into the future. You see, that don't mean, but understanding that moving the chairs around on a sinking ship, you see, and you going down. It don't make no difference. United States is going down. You see, it's going down. So you can't move the chairs around on this motherfucker and think it's gonna be any better for you when that time, when you hear that and it's over. So you got to always be thinking of another plan. You have to always be thinking to have another door to go through. Period. But some of y'all love the master so much, y'all don't want another plan. You see, y'all don't want another plan. Y'all don't want to give up on Jesus. You know it. Have you niggas are coming in, but and then tomorrow you gonna be right in there with your suit on, nigga, with all them colors. You know how niggas do for Easter. Nigga gonna have all the annihilator colors on. Niggas gonna be in there looking like going church, a black church nigga in there looking like a box of Fruit Loops. It's gonna be so colorful up in there. You understand? And that nigga neon socks. You see what I'm saying? Hot pink suits and shit and everything. You know, purple, you know, Bossellini hats on in there. You feel me? Big face, you know, Cazales on. You know, y'all gonna be in there doing it. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? Love that Jesus, nigga. That's you. And that's what we talking about today. That's what you love when we ask what the menu, what's on the menu, what is, you understand? We talk and we say what's in the ingredients in this pot that niggas call Black America. Y'all know what y'all love. Y'all know the main ingredients in the pot. Y'all don't want to talk about the main ingredients in the pot. You see what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be obvious that what you really fighting for over here. You see? But but this is why we talk when I come here and I discuss this, and all our peoples out there, they don't know how to look at this from a strategic point. They all come in here, I watch them all, they all be in here emotional because I'm in here trying to give you some game, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? And people be in here talking about, down with, like they in here picking and choosing. I'm not in here picking and, but I am choosing on the side of my people. I am going to do that. I am going to choose on, because that's responsible. You see, that's responsible. A lot of y'all, and I'm talking to some of my Pan-African niggas out there too. Y'all want to see the demise, and we're going to talk about that of America to the point you're irresponsible because you ain't got no plan to where you, nigga, when the boat go down, you going down with the boat. But as a man, you supposed to be responsible for the family. The family ain't supposed to be going down with the boat. So y'all so quick to jump up with y'all cheerleader outfit on, and y'all out there doing and you're flipping and doing your cheerleading and down with America and some, promoting Iran, Arab, Persian imperialist. Ain't nothing but an Aryan, ain't nothing but a Caucasoid, but somehow y'all see something different than what I see. You see, ain't nothing but a Caucasoid. That's all they is. Out a cave, down the mountain. That's on the other end of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Y'all want to come on now? Talk to me. Talk to me. Out of the cave on the other end of the mountain. Still a Neanderthal. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But y'all see something different. So, so strategically, because when you study history and you study war, you're going to realize that the majority of wars that have been fought on this planet have been fought over some of the same areas for a very long time. They've been fighting over Jerusalem. How long they been fighting over Jerusalem? How many wars you think they done been fighting over that land that they call Palestine, Israel, when it didn't even have no name? The strategic value. So that's why geography, that's why I named my subject military geography, because when you look at these areas, you're going to see strategically the man and nation that holds power over that power point. You understand? Geographical power point. You understand what I'm saying? On the planet, that nation got a power, you understand, of movement and economy. And you understand what I'm saying? So when you look at the state of Israel, Palestine, you see that's right there on the eastern end of the Mediterranean, right there by the Suez Canal in Egypt. Well, because when they come out the Persian Gulf, they spin around out of the Arabian Sea, go up the Gulf of Aden, into the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, into the Mediterranean, through the Straits of Gibraltar, out into the Atlantic, over to America. You see, in the South, in the North American, South American nations is in reverse, going the same way through the, up the Atlantic. You understand? Through the Straits of Gibraltar, through the Mediterranean, to the eastern end of the Mediterranean, through the Suez Canal, down the Red Sea, through the Gulf of Aden, through the Arabian Sea, into the Indian Ocean, headed to India, headed to China, headed to Japan. You see? So these is serious points. So Iran is in control of the Straits of Hormuz. So they got a certain amount of power over it where they can dictate all the nations that's moving, through there. They got a certain power, and so now you see the Houthi, they acting up. They in Yemen. They was acting up first, but they could cut that, make it hard for the people coming through the Gulf of Aden. You see what I'm saying? Coming up through the Red Sea. So if you got, so they're gonna make it hot at both of them points. You see, they're gonna make it hot at both of them points. They've been fighting over them areas of the world forever. Ethiopia and the Arabs had a fight over Yemen. They had a fight over it. Why do you see when you look at Yemen? That's why Aksum, the Aksamites. You understand? Ancient Ethiopia. That's what made them so powerful. The Aksamites control the southern, what today they call Arabia, Yemen. They controlled all that trade that was coming up through the Gulf of Aden from Rome going to India, going to China, from China and India going to Rome, and so Aksum held in its power that particular area, the Red Sea. You understand, to a certain point. You understand. Then Egypt, you see, in Egypt, at another point, controlling the Suez Canal. But this has been going on. So I say, let me teach you these strategic areas on the planet, these chakras of economy and world power. And it ain't gonna ever change. It ain't gonna ever change. So either you got your hands on some of these points or you don't. And if you don't have you're not a global factor in nothing. You're not a global factor in nothing. Nigga, you just a pawn in the game. That's all you is. So get out your house shoes. Put your Timberlands on. Don't come to military strategy class with Christianity, with your religion and your morality and all of that. That's why y'all losing. Because when motherfuckers is trying to obtain power, God damn it, either you gonna get it or you ain't gonna get it. And sometimes all that shit go out the window until you get it. You see? And then when you get it, you still might have to, because it's a different day and age. You want to try to be as moral as you can. But when it's time to raise that hammer up and put some skulls and, put some trauma on some skull pieces, that's what you're going to have to do, family. So, the 2 jets down, that don't mean nothing. That's war. It's war. You're going to lose something. It ain't no war if you ain't losing nothing. But when you flip it and look at what's on the other side, man, them peoples over there is in trouble. They in trouble. And it ain't being funny. I'm just saying, because I hear people rooting and they saying, and I'm just looking at it on the outside looking in. I say, well, if you get you a ticket, nigga. Go on over there. Get you an Airbnb over there in Tehran. I don't know how long the lights gonna be on over there. I don't know how long you're gonna be able to get water and food and shit. I don't know. It's gonna be ugly in a minute. They hit them damn power plants over there. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. At that point, I'm just gonna tell you, and you can talk this shit all you want and hope, because war is based on power and you understand, and regardless to whatever you talking about, them people over there ain't gonna give a fuck about none of your comments. They don't give a fuck about none. They ain't even looking at your, so you can try to chili. Them people over there ain't thinking about none of this shit you niggas is talking about on the internet at all. Period. I'm telling you this. When them lights go out over there, you've been in hurricane, a tornado, any of this shit, and your lights go out, and your water go out, and your little card, your little debit card ain't working, ain't no ATMs, nigga, the all the stores is closed because they power's out, the little food in there done rotten, whatever was in there, the people done bought that shit up out of there, and you out there, and ain't nobody coming down, ain't no trucks coming. And it's one thing to be in a city or a region, but when the whole nation go out, man, at that point, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. And at that point, when ain't no medicine, ain't no water, ain't no food, ain't none of that, you're going to see motherfuckers dropping off like flies. You're going to see disease coming there on their ass real quick. So you niggas is wishing and then hoping and shit and this, that, and the third. That's not how that shit going to go. You see, they going to be shutting down. But after that motherfucking shit happen like that, that oil ain't going to mean shit. And that's going to show you how wicked they is over there, that they would bring their own people to that goddamn kind of demise when all they thinking about is power, and they know what the predicament them damn peoples is going to be in if they hit that shit like that. And they don't give a damn because a lot of them want their ass out of there anyway. They're going to let that shit happen. And that's going to be fucked up that they would, what's going on the world. I don't, because ain't nothing a nigga can do about it. So you can cry and ain't nothing you can do about it. When they hit a button, you can't unhit the button, nigga. You can't unhit the button. It's hit. So you have to look at this shit in one day. You understand? If you find yourself and you look at situations like this and you imagine ahead of time, what would you do in a situation like that? I tell you what, if they say don't make no bomb, I'll sure enough be, I ain't making no bomb. Even if I'm faking it. You understand what I'm saying? Who making a bomb? No motherfucker making no bombs over here. The motherfucker, Abdul, you back there making the bomb. Get your ass up off the making shit back here. Yeah, we're cleaning this up over here right now. You see? Abdul, fuck you putting on them. We got it. We whoever was making bomb, we took care of that. You feel me? Wouldn't be over there making no bomb. Fake it till you make it. Do what you got to do. Well, that's what Kim Jong-un did. That's exactly what he did. You see, he faked it until he could make it. And once he made it, he had made it. You understand what I'm saying? But, a lot of them over there, they want to stick their chests out and say, yeah, we pushing forward. Okay, then you're asking for it. You understand what I'm saying? Deception is the art of war. You better learn that. Deception is the art of war. That's what it says. Simple as that. Deception is the art of war. You make a motherfucker think you weak when you're strong. You make somebody think you strong when you're weak. You make a sound in the east and you strike in the west. You make a sound in the west and you strike in the south. You see, you're doing everything in deception. You understand? To make a people think something that's not there. You got people chasing ghosts. So be careful of what you see out there, because it ain't always the truth. It's sending you one way where something is happening in another place that's going to be very detrimental to your existence. I appreciate y'all, family. I want y'all to get on over there to Patreon. We're going to be on there tonight. I know y'all out there hopping. I know you got your Easter ears on and shit. You out there hopping and you got your bunny tail on and, you're hopping and you're out there laying eggs and you understand and you're hopping. I know what y'all out there doing, pretending that, Jesus is resurrected and ain't nothing but the sun. Yes, the sun has risen again in springtime. The sun has returned, the S-U-N, not the S-O-N. So for those of y'all out there, because that's what y'all love, that's a part of the ingredients in y'all pot. Watch all these Negroes out here There's talking all this movement and all this delineation, and see if their ass gonna be out there with the ears on. They're gonna be out there with the hopping, and then gonna come right back on here tomorrow talking about, yeah, delineation and black power and all that. But they're gonna hop today than tomorrow. Yeah, they're gonna be out there with their little jelly beans and eggs and everything. I'm showing you the deception. Showing you the deception. I'll see you on the next video, family. Hit that Patreon, join the general, and I'll be black in a minute. Black power.